What's up guys, this is Nick from Stridewise.com where I look at men's boots and high-end casual fashion, and I think I'm becoming a hat guy. I feel like there's like an evolution that guys tend to have with a style, at least in the heritage space, which is where, you know, heritage fashion is based off of like old casual apparel, like that's made with the same sort of like fabrics and techniques that casual and workwear clothing were made from like 100 years ago. And you can typically incorporate heritage stuff into a modern wardrobe without looking too ostentatious. Like for a lot of guys, that's like what they like about it. So like nice thick selvage jeans, really good quality boots, like nice canvas jackets, that kind of stuff you can wear around in the modern world and you just look cool and you don't stand out a lot, right? It's like timeless classic fashion. Then you get to the level where you start wearing hats, which is like, I think it's a stage that comes to every guy who gets interested in heritage fashion. And that's when you stop looking like a guy with a cool understated wardrobe and you look like a guy with a cool wardrobe and hats, right? Like it stands out more, but it's still kind of timeless. It's a bit of a scary step to take, but I've been wearing hats more this year. So it's time for the colder weather, and I think I'm gonna start wearing hats when it's sunny out. If for no other reason, then I'm Australian, so I'm terrified of skin cancer, so I need more hats. So this is the first one from Two Roads Hat Company. Let's see what they sent me. So this is a newer company that I've gotten interested in because their sort of approach is that they want to make nice brimmed hats for guys who don't want to look too much like they're pretending to be a cowboy. Like obviously a felt brimmed hat is it's relatively ostentatious in this day and age, but this brand tries to be for those guys who want a felt brimmed hat but don't want too much of a cowboy aesthetic. So it's got a nice flat brim and everything. I've been wearing this straw hat non-stop all summer. I think it's called the Windward. I actually rode a horse up a volcano in it in Guatemala. It's in about 1 billion of Instagram posts. Follow me on Instagram, by the way, if you don't. And while the straw hat looked good on a horse, obviously a felt one looks better. So this 100% wool Elliston hat they sent me, they say it's inspired by Nashville's music scene. So this one's actually a little bit Western. They call it approachably Western on their site. So it's got a good sized brim of 2 3/4 inches. I found that 3.5 inches is where things start to get a bit too wide and outdoorsy. And it comes with this cool leather band and a relatively tall crown of 4 3/4 inches. So I like that it's a light brown, and that'll work well with brown jackets and boots without being too matchy-matchy. Plus I find like really dark brown, like this hat of mine can be like, again, a little bit too cowboyish, you know? I have a code with Two Roads, by the way, for free shipping, so if you want to check out their hats, the link is in the description below. But yeah, this hat's like really nice, and it's nice and stiff as well. The main thing that I want from a hat, honestly, these days is a flat brim, or at least a brim that doesn't like do the whole like dipping at the middle and going up at the sides like cowboy hats do. So long as it's like nice and flat and stiff, which it is, I'm pretty happy with this. Let me know what you guys think. All right, next up is a package from Ireland. So it looks a bit flat to be a hat, but this is indeed marketed as a hat on their website. So let's open this one out, see what's going on. Excellent. All right, so this is the Aran, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, Aran wool hat. So Aran wool, if you're gonna get a beanie, get it from this company. It comes from the Aran Islands off of the west coast of Ireland, and of course has been worn by fishermen and farmers for generations out there, right? What's interesting about Aran apparel is that it's a big symbol of Irish clan heritage. So like different clans have different patterns on their sweaters that were often kept within the same clan for generations, like as a closely guarded secret. When they like found the body of a fisherman after an accident at sea, they'd use his sweater to identify where he came from, stuff like that. There's a lot of really interesting heritage in this company. This wool can absorb 30% of its weight before it gets before it feels wet. It's also wool, so it's very, very breathable. It draws vapor away from the skin and like releases it into the air. I'm a bit sensitive to wool, like it's a bit scratchy on me, but I rolled the dice in this beanie and it's not too scratchy, which is good. And I rolled the dice because it's so breathable and so good at insulating. Like when it's wool, you don't get too hot and you don't get too cold in it, right? Aran is mid-weight wool. The yarns fall between chunky yarns and double knit. And if you're gonna get Aran wool, you should get it from Aran.com. It's an Irish company. They're made in Ireland, 100% merino wool. And somehow they're shockingly inexpensive. This one was like 25 bucks, but it is made in Ireland. It is merino wool. I have no idea how it's so cheap. I probably don't want to know. But if you want to level up your beanie game, this is where it's at. And also, they gave me this nice like map of the original Aran Islands to check out as well. So yeah, really authentic, really nice warm stuff. And if you're in the market for like a nice like chunky cable knit sort of sweater as well, that stuff I can't wear. I have like a bit of a wool sensitivity, but you should definitely check them out because they've got a really wide variety of really Irish and really interesting products with a lot of history behind them. All right, the last one I've got my last hat for the cooler months is from an Australian company. So let's check it out. All right, this is the Calloway in Fawn from Will and Bear. This is a really cool Australian company, and this is their stiff brim fedora made with Australian wool. So they have two hats that look a bit like this. The William is softer and like a more traditional fedora. This Calloway is nice and stiff with a flat brim. I have the Andy Orban from them that I bought for a Western themed strongman competition I hosted a few months back. That one is great at keeping the sun off, but it's too wide for city wear. I mentioned it earlier. I think it's just a bit too country. So while I paid for that one, they offered to send me this one for free. And it's this great, almost gray color that I'm excited to wear with like blue jackets and black jackets, that kind of stuff. The big thing to know about this company is that for every hat you buy, they plant 10 trees. It's really, really cool. They have thus far planted over 450 acres of forest in Senegal. So it's a really nice touch when you buy it. It's Australian wool as well. They mill and felt it in-house, and they make it from the short fiber wool that the fashion industry doesn't use. So they recycle factory offcuts and minimize waste like that. So it's cool, it's very eco-friendly, and it's a cool hat. So yeah, I'm pumped to wear it this winter. Hey, this is the second part of the hat unboxing video. I filmed this a week after the other one. The reason I'm doing another section to this video is number one, to get more hats in the video. Number two, because the Will and Bear hat was actually a bit small on me, so I got it exchanged for this larger size. So as you can see, you'd probably find this one to be a bit better fitting than the last one. That's that brim. But what I realized, I've been learning more and more about hats as much as I can. This here is a teardrop crown, right? Because, you know, it looks like a teardrop. It's plenty common on Western hats, but also on like fedoras and dressier hats. And I've learned that I actually quite like cattleman's crowns. I think it's like a good, it's more casual and it just suits better with what I wear. So I got myself a Stetson, which you can't have any brimmed hats without trying out a Stetson hat, right? They have cattleman's crown, and indeed they have a cattleman crown on what I think is their most popular model, at least, you know, as far as what I've seen around. So let's open up this classic American company Stetson and see what we got. This is the Stetson Open Road. Vastly popular hat. The reason it's so popular is their brim, I think, is like a really nice width for like, you get a bit of sun protection, but it's not like too outlandishly outdoorish. And it's a really nice, they basically consider it their fusion of Western hats and city hats. So this is the Stetson Open Road. This one here cost me $205. It's made in America, in Texas. It's a complete American icon. The company was founded in 1865. That's still made in Texas. Lyndon B. Johnson wore hats like this. And they didn't actually provide the hats for Indiana Jones, but around the time of Temple of Doom, they sold a style modeled on the Indiana Jones hat. They actually had the license, so it was like an official Indiana Jones hat. They didn't actually make the hat, it was crafted by Herbert Johnson, but still, they were trusted enough to have the Indiana Jones license for a while. So this Stetson is made from 6X wool. That's why it's a little bit more expensive. So basically, it's like, this is what I've been learning. I like really stiff and relatively flat brims, like not the too like cowboyish Indiana Jonesies like that. And so the Open Road is a good model for that. And the 6X wool, while it's more expensive, it's like more stiff and more likely to hold its shape over time, which is exactly what I want from a hat. I do have that gray Will and Bear one. This is a bit, they call this color Fawn, and it's almost like a mixture of brown and gray. Like I think you can go with both palettes. This is a more solid, nice dark gray because I've got my light brown one from Two Roads. And I'm really freaking pumped to wear this with my denim jacket from Tanuki, which is in the mail. But that's another video for another time. For now, That's it for my videos about my unboxings. I couldn't do one without Stetson, so I'm really glad I got it in and had time to do this unboxing before I left town to head to Europe for a little while. So again, that's another video for another time. For now, yeah, I hope you liked this unboxing of the hats. I'm definitely gonna do a lot more stuff on Stetson. Fingers crossed I can visit the facility in 2022. And if you've got favorite hats like this, like about 2 3/4 inch brim, pretty flat, nice and stiff, let me know, because that's definitely my favorite style.